thank you very much to Steve and to Phil with the Arnolfini behind him, around him, under him, and also to Tony Fraser for his continuing contribution of Shearsman books to contemporary poetry. And Steve and I have both been beneficiaries of that today. Thank you. I was interested that was Steve, not performing. I am myself very interested in the idea of the, let's say, neutral poetry reading as itself a very specific mode of performance. We've had some nice performances up to now. So I am going to read six, it looks like, 6 poems from, this book is it's got a sandwich structure, and the middle bit, the filling, is a sequence of 23 poems called I'm on the Train, which you can take absolutely literally, because a lot of it was about being prompted. Whatever, some connection, you'll find some of them rather loose, with being on the train on a very particular train journey, which turned out to include the last days of my secure salaried life, which then, as you can imagine, gets woven in as a matter of some biographical stuff into the sequence. But so that's what I'm going to do from On the Train. And I'm going to go slightly out of sequence to start with number 10, they're all numbered, number 10, which is called Quite Specific. What if it is exactly when you have nothing to say, but even so you try to say that quite specific nothing? That's the story of these poems. Trying to say a quite specific nothing. Number 7 is called Banquet of Abstemiousness. Those of you who know Emily Dickinson's work well will spot that most of the phrases come from her. And it has an epigraph from Susan Howell's My Emily Dickinson, which goes, Emily, feminine of the Teutonic Emile, the industrious. I should say that the poems, as a sequence, I'm just picking some out from it, but they all are kind of thematically and sonically woven together a bit, which we're losing some of. Then close the valves of attention on mortal lips divine, and long for the long shadow of so-called experience, as presentiments on the lawn, as rumours of delirium, as undeveloped freight zeroing to the bone. O mortal lips divine, give me the precious gift of darkening experience, O quality of life, the freight of a sacrament candid in May, nonchalant in death, private like a breeze, qualified by loss, touching lips with mortality in brief tragedies of flesh. Imperceptibly as grief, summer lapses away, too nonchalant in its death, sinking with the sun. It was covered in April, as cool to speech as stone, chilling the syllables pressed under its weight, while suns go down and trade encroaches, private breezes lap the summer's loss, and cool to speech like stone, imperceptibly grievous, bones at banquet of abstemiousness, texts avoiding mourning. Everybody's probably familiar with the tendency of senior managers in institutions that they think of as corporations to spend a lot of time naming things, especially buildings and rooms. I'll mention that, you might pick up what's being named here in this one. It's called The Exchange. The first off-peak train of the day, commuting those who must travail on public transport between residence and work, it will reach Plymouth for a 9:30 start. There is no easy seat. I stand in the seatless space where the doors are and glance around, my eyes snagging on a bearded stranger who slowly commutes in my distracted cognition into recognised friend, thus crossing a border of contraries, though friends do carry their strangeness about with them, even in their beards. And this is in part who else they can be. After Plymouth, we sit together, we both have work to do, but talk to do as well. We manage both up to a point, the talk arising from the two different kinds of work that up to a point we share, the one that pays us for today, and the one that sustains both of us, I guess, through pleasure and purpose. One has the fixed address that is our immediate destination. The other is a scattered map of those who have found each other over distance, or might yet do so, through the abstracted outcomes of what they do and make. It is fruitless to try to work after Truro. And we are still talking on the walk up the newer campus of a university that was once an art school, with those two kinds of work supposedly combining. It is blowing hard and wet. When we part by the old library doors, the new one now part of the exchange, the value of knowledge and literary pleasure can go down as well as up. Imperfect formation. Getting on the train again, a necessary repetition, the train that is, no need to keep saying it, the repetitions of the days, lost in rhythms of speech, already themselves changing patterns of doing it again, just as the songs are there, as it were, in the air, hanging in the ear, ready for repeat performances, and just as most songs are patterns of repetitions at different levels, beginning again, so often a way of moving in place, in my bag, tasked for the journey, lined up as though there are station calls between them. These words of unknown duration, one of the tasks, of course, they differ in urgency and lie on an imagined line between simple pleasure and pain duty, somewhere on this sliding scale. Even the duty is pleasurable. A bonus, lightening the debt of pay. An item in the prospectus of tasks is check the draft reply to one who has some control over my pain and therefore over me. He wants, because he is in difficulties, to reduce my cost in the firm, to which end he has decided that not all my services are needed. My age being no longer a legitimate pretext, he may find this restraint difficult. In turn, the one who controls his pay has likened her own leadership to command of the red arrows in perfect V formation, which reminds me that though pay is descended from a word for pacify, the highest paid are not conspicuously the most peaceable, nor most aware of their debts. I'm glad to say this is not all a matter of daily repetition, in my case, or at least not yet. Imagine each day you resist all over again, erosion of your contract. It happens, or that's how it feels. There is a difference, is there not, between repetition as patterned figure and repetition as the how it is of ground. It is March the 3rd. So much has changed. So much is as it is in early March. This could be the last time, and this is a poem for and in memory of a fine poet and very good friend, Lee Howell, who died in July 2015. Shall I call this the last journey of the year, or will that be the next one? It certainly isn't the first, though I'm back from holiday, and holidays are intended to divide the year into stops and starts. I am looking for good endings in one or two aspects of my life, and this may have something to do with Lee's death. last week, well before his time, a man of clear lyrical pleasure, still attentive to the detailed movement and stillness of a world that answered his own, like those shuddering frames when two trains passed each other. We never actually travelled down to Cornwall together, though we met up at St Ives with Melanie and Calvin for the Hilton exhibition, and he did join us at Bernie and Susie's wedding in Shreyani, where we slept one above the other in the youth hostel bunks, and he gave me the benefit of his knowledge as a theatre dresser, respecting always the skilled particularities of work, with no sense at all that his poet's calling put him above all that, or that there is a life of the mind somehow preferable to the knowledgeable labours of the skill. Here, it is the holiday season. The train is fuller than it usually is after Plymouth. Lee's eyes would be quietly at work inside and out, especially over the water, the windows marking both beginning and end, his ear hearing the lyrical traces of the speech around us, though right now that is mostly muffled by all the sounds that the train makes. An end of sorts, a return. Travelling eastwards this time, on what my ticket calls a return, picking up what used to be the intercity at Par, on its holiday route from Newquay. Hardly a city. I'm earlier than usual, and the day has given me much to think about. The body that pays me will not be doing so for much longer. It has ideas for its future, the way bodies with CEOs tend to, that require a different, if in some respects, imaginary cast list of payees. I am invited to consider expressing my interest in severance, since my post will be deleted following full review and restructure. The invitation is in its way compelling. These journeys, like so many, are contingent, and they will stop.